I'm going to call this meeting of the Plan Commission to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Ackerson.
Present.
Ms. Spillman. Here. Mr. Fell.
Here.
Mr. Fitch.
Here.
Mr. Hopkins.
Here.
Mr. Otto. Mr. Storr. Mr. Trail.
Here.
And Mr. Turner.
We do have a quorum. Are there any changes to the agenda? Minutes from the February 9th, 2017 regular Plan Commission meeting.
Move to approve.
Moved by Mr. Trail. Seconded by Mr. Hopkins. Any changes to the minutes? Nope. All right, then we'll just do these by voice vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The minutes are approved. We don't have any communications. We don't have any continued public hearings. We don't have any old business. We don't have any new business. We don't have any new public hearings. We do have new business. I'm sorry. It's the shortest agenda ever, and I botched it.
This was your chance.
I'm sorry. We do have a plan case, number 2304 M 2017, and a review of the official zoning map. Mr. Marks.
Good evening. So, Illinois state law and in concurrence, the Urbana zoning ordinance requires an official zoning map to be adopted each year by March 31st. The last one being on March 7th of 2016, in ordinance number 2016-03015. The proposed changes to the map are a result of all the zoning changes that were reviewed by the Urbana Plan Commission, approved by City Council through the course of last year. Any map errors or adjustments that were identified. In the memorandum, we identified the rezonings, the right-of-way changes, and the plats and subdivisions that were undertaken by the city. The Plan Commission can accept or can forward a recommendation of approve or deny the map to the Urbana City Council. And they will take it for consideration at their March 20th meeting. I'll just briefly go over the changes. There were no annexations into the city, so the city boundaries stayed the same since this map was last approved in 2016. There were several rezonings of properties close to the downtown core area. Perhaps I'll just quickly go to those on the map. The areas one moment. Towards the center were changed from R5, R6, R6, R5, and R5 to B4. Those were part of what will eventually become the Block North redevelopment. There were also several subdivisions that occurred outside of the city and three that occurred inside, three that occurred outside of the city limits and several that occurred inside city limits. There were two new landmark designations, 702 West Pennsylvania Avenue and 601 West Delaware Avenue. There was one vacation of a public right-of-way, and that was a portion of Barr Avenue on the west side of Cunningham, which was vacated for the Highland Green development, which is under construction at this moment. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Marks? Mr. Hopkins?
We could argue about whether it's relevant or not, but what's the status of the Block North project?
Well, the parcels were rezoned
Yeah.
accordingly, but that is a matter that's being undertaken with the developer. And
The development agreement is still under negotiation.
Okay.
Any further questions? Mr. Turner?
I'll just add this for the record, which I know it's not relevant necessarily, but it's tangential. I just noticed that South Ridge Park on here is zoned single-family residential, and just something to take a look at, and it will be looked at perhaps next year. But from my knowledge, it's a park, not single-family.
Yes, when we actually do a rezoning case like that, we would group it with others that need to be looked at and potentially corrected. So then we would ensure that the correct zoning would be applied, and we'd bring it for you, in front of you as a rezoning case, and then to City Council, and then on the next map, it would be reflected.
Any further questions? That'll do it. Thank you, Mr. Marks. Any discussion of the zoning map or motions in regard to the zoning map?
Are you asking us whether we like it or not?
It's very colorful.
I'll move we send plan case 2304 M17 to City Council for recommendation.
Moved by Mr. Hopkins,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Turner. We'll go ahead and do a roll call vote whenever you get a chance.
Ms. Spillman? Yes. Mr. Fell?
Yes.
Mr. Fitch?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Trail?
Yes.
Mr. Turner?
Yes.
And Mr. Ackerson?
Yes.
Motion is approved. Well, we don't have any audience participation. Is there a staff report? No staff report. We don't have a study session. Therefore, we're adjourned.